Fear is one of the most primal emotions we experience. It has saved us from danger for centuries, triggering our flight or fight responses. Yet, in modern life, fear often becomes an obstacle rather than a protector. We fear rejection, failure, criticism, and uncertainty, all of which can limit our potential and hold us back from achieving greatness. The ancient philosophers understood that fear, like all emotions, must be controlled, not eradicated. They taught that by cultivating inner peace and wisdom, we could face the challenges of life without being enslaved by fear. The first way is to focus only on what you can control. To kill your fear, you must first ask yourself, what is actually within my control? Fear often arises from focusing on things outside of our grasp, the reactions of others, the outcome of an event, the unpredictability of life. This is where fear thrives. The solution is to redirect your attention to the things that are within your power. You can control your thoughts, actions, and responses. You cannot control the opinions of others, the randomness of life, or the inevitable uncertainties of the future. When you focus only on what you can influence, fear begins to lose its grip. Instead of fearing the uncontrollable, train yourself to master your response. When faced with a challenging situation, ask yourself, how can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? When you take responsibility for your own actions and decisions, fear diminishes. You may not always control the outcome, but you can always control your approach. Each night, take a moment to reflect on your day. What was outside of your control? What was within your control? Celebrate your ability to manage what you could and let go of the rest. Over time, this simple habit will train your mind to release fear and anxiety. The second way is to confront fear with worst-case thinking. One of the most powerful ways to kill fear is to confront it before it happens. This may sound counterintuitive, but the practice of mentally rehearsing the worst possible outcome can strip fear of its power. The Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised that we should regularly contemplate the things we fear, not to increase anxiety, but to prepare ourselves. When we visualize the worst, we make the unknown familiar, and once something is familiar, it becomes less frightening. Take a moment to imagine the worst possible outcome of something you fear: a failed speech, a business collapse, a rejection. Now ask yourself, would I survive this? More often than not, the answer is yes. You might face disappointment, but you would endure. You would adapt. You would learn. When you make peace with the worst that can happen, fear loses its hold over you. Set aside time each day for this mental exercise. Reflect on a fear you have and visualize the worst possible outcome. Not to dwell on negativity, but to prepare yourself for any challenge. When the moment comes, you will realize that reality is never as terrifying as the fear itself. The third way is to face fear through action. Fear is not defeated in theory, it is defeated in practice. Every time we push through fear and take action, we grow stronger. Our confidence grows, our courage expands. One of the greatest obstacles to growth is avoiding discomfort. But avoiding fear does not make it disappear, it only makes it more powerful. The only way to kill fear is to face it. If public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking in front of a mirror. Then, speak to a small group of friends. If you fear rejection, start by engaging in conversations where the stakes are low. Over time, as you face your fears in small ways, you build the strength to take on greater challenges. Set small, achievable goals that stretch your comfort zone. Break down your biggest fears into smaller, manageable steps. Fear is like a muscle. It grows weaker when confronted and stronger when avoided. Each time you take a small step forward, you are training yourself to be resilient. In conclusion, fear does not define you. How you respond to fear is what shapes your life. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from learning to navigate fear rather than being ruled by it. By focusing only on what you can control, confronting fear through mental preparation, and actively facing it in small doses, you take away its power. Fear is not the enemy. It is a signal, a natural reaction to uncertainty, but uncertainty is a part of life. The difference between those who live fully and those who remain stuck is not the absence of fear, it is the courage to move forward despite it. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Fear, when faced with wisdom and courage, becomes the very path to your greatest achievements. It's time to take control. Identify a fear you've been avoiding and take the first step today. The only way to kill fear is to walk straight through it. Until next time, remember to live a virtuous life, find inner peace, and embrace the present moment.